on our Facebook page. It is clear. It is there. You can see it. It's on Love in the Morning. That's how you can find us on Facebook. Yes, Prof.
Okay, David, thank you very much. I would want to express my condolences to the families who lost loved ones, children with a lot of dreams shattered in an accident. How many of these children are we expecting to bury before we take action? I think it is time that we do something on this Accra Kumasi highway. Looking at the data.
And before you even talk about the data, forgive me. Out of the 16 who have died, I'm sure some were gunning to become members of parliament,
Yes.
to become doctors,
Yes.
to become lawyers,
Yes.
to become engineers.
Yes.
They had big dreams for themselves.
Yes.
But
Yes.
unfortunately, their dreams have been cut short.
Yes, we've lost them. David, road safety experts now want to move away from the term accidents
To crashes.
The idea is that accidents connotes that it's a natural occurrences and nothing cannot be done. But if you look at what just killed the children, something can be done about it. It could have been prevented. Looking at the data, road traffic crashes have seen an increase. I think for the past 2 years, every year we see an increase in the
There's
number
never a downward trend
of crashes, and this is worrying, and it is costing the nation a lot. Looking at the data critically, those of us in the Ashanti region, we are at a higher risk because we have more people dying from road traffic crashes in Ashanti region as compared to the other region, and this is very worrying, and we need to take action. We need to take road traffic crashes seriously.
So I would ask a question on that shortly. I want to know why we're not taking it seriously, because we've lost prominent people, from politicians to musicians to film actors and all that. We've lost some ordinary Ghanaians as well. So question is, why are we not taking road crashes seriously and keep losing lives? I'll come to you shortly. But Leo, I want you to, at this point in time, and you might project it on Facebook for me. And let's start with the general crashes. Leo, share with us the figure. What does the figure say? What does the data say? And then after you've done that, you would also share with us the deaths. After you're done with the deaths, you show us the injuries, and then we continue from there. So for now, what does the data say? And listen, it's on our Facebook page actually, on Love in the Morning. Go check it out.
So the data says they are looking at 5 areas. That's cases reported, vehicles involved, persons killed, persons injured, and then pedestrian knockdowns. So for cases reported,
And give us the duration, January to June, January to
yeah.
June.
So it's all from January to June
2024.
2024 and 2025.
Thank you.
So from January to June 2025, we've had 7,289 cases reported. The same period in 2024, that's from January to June 2024, was 6,653, and it is a 9% increase. So 9% increase. From vehicles involved, it was in January 2025 to June 2025, it's 12,354, and then the same period in January to June 2024 is 11,283. So that's 9.5% increase. Persons killed is 1,504 in 2025, and then 1,237 in 2024, and that is a 21% or 21.6% increase. Persons injured was 8,364 in 2025, and then 7,561 in 2024, and that constitutes 10.6% increase. Pedestrian knockdowns was 1,301 in 2025, and then 1,219 in 2024, and that is 6.8% increase.
Okay. And there's a graph, and Emmanuel will be showing you the graph on Facebook as well. So stay with us on Facebook on Love in the Morning. So Prof, you were saying a while ago that it's about time for us to take road crashes seriously, because the injuries are increasing, the deaths are increasing. And Leo, check for me if it's possible we can have data on the amount of people who have died between 2000 and 2025.
Okay.
Check if you can get that one for me. I'm talking about going online. Can we get data for deaths between 2000 and to 2025? That 25 years in Pukeke. Name here the number of people who have lost. Check if you can find it for me. But why are we not taking it seriously enough, Prof?
Okay, even David, with the data that we've presented, that's not the complete picture.
Yes.
Because some go unreported.
Unreported, yeah, I agree.
So we have a significant percentage of accident crashes not going reported. What is happening is that we've not taken safety to be part of our culture. As you rightly mentioned, we have prominent people. President Kufuor, for instance, was involved in a crash when he was a president, and he was pulled out of the vehicle by bystanders.
Yeah.
Almost every presidential motorcade has been involved in
A crash.
Ministers and whatever, but it has not been our culture. When the politicians are building road, they are interested in getting access. They get the road, people are able to travel on it, and they are happy we've been provided with road. Meanwhile, they leave the small things which will make the road safe. For
When
instance,
is this small thing say?
road line marking. So it's common to see a road well constructed, but without any road line marking, no road furniture, and the things which
Even the
will
street
make-
lightings.
I mean,
That will
they
help
don't
you.
provide. They are interested in access. People get access, and that's all.
But
So
even
we
with
don't
access,
take-
even the access you talk about, Prof, I have a challenge there. I think that their interest even lies more in the kickbacks they will get from the contract that they have awarded. Because some of the roads that we see, it doesn't meet the right standard. And you know what I'm talking about. Because you construct a road that is supposed to last, let's say, 5 years or even more. Within less than a year or two, the roads are going bad. So you ask yourself, what kind of work went into the construction? So let me ask this question then. What role does road infrastructure, poor road infrastructure, cause in terms of crashes? What role does it play? Poor road construction. But before that, so I was asking for some data.
Yeah.
Eugene has the data right now.
So David, in 2022 March, myself and a friend Josh Sapon, the former parliamentary candidate for Achaak, out together to do some research on it. And I'm just going to give you that. So I'll give you the year and I'll give you that. So we are taking from 2010. So that will be 14 years, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 15 years.
I was hoping we could have gotten from 2000, but 2010 also works.
we have data from 1991, so I can provide
Oh,
it.
Fine.
okay, that's
But you don't have it readily, do you?
I can get.
So
it
so
right
you
now.
share yours with us. Why he tries to see if he can get from the 90s.
So
for us.
2010, 1,986 people died. 2011, 2,199 people died. 2012, 2,240 people died. 2013, 1,898 people died. 2014, 1,836 people. 2015, 1,802. 2016, 2,024. 2017, 1,823. 2018, 2,020. 2019, 2,284. 2020, 2,589. 2021, 2,924. Because we wrote the article in 2020, now let me get for you the statistics for 2022.
Is it possible? Okay, fine. So it starts for 22. Fine.
In 2022, 2,373 people died. In 2023, 2,276 people died. In 2024, the death we had, their country graphic online is 2,494. So on the average, when you did the average, it was around 2,500.
Is it possible we can put it all together and know how many people have died?
I can do the calculation.
Do the calculation for
in
me.
the last 15 years.
Yes, do the.
I can
How many
do that
people
for you.
have died on our
I
roads?
can do that for you. Let me do that.
Yeah, Reho. So, Prof, I asked a question. Road infrastructure, when we're constructing our roads, in terms of the infrastructure, how does it contribute, or does it contribute to road crashes?
Yes. So, David, formerly, road safety experts were trying to put everything on the human factor. But now we're moving away from that based on the fact that human beings are fallible. We make mistakes. And so the idea is that the road should be designed in such a way that it can accommodate some of these mistakes. So, for instance, on the Accra-Kumasi Highway, for instance, one major factor which we use in assessing the performance of the road is the time spent following other vehicles. You realize when you're traveling on the Kumasi-Accra Highway that a high percentage of the time you are following other vehicles. And so you follow it for a very long time. You get frustrated, and with the slightest of opportunity, you would want to overtake. The question is, the traffic volume on the road is very high. If these roads were to be dual carriage, would we have this issue of trying to follow vehicles for a very long time and then overtaking when it's not even safe to do so? So the road infrastructure affects the crashes. If we had dual carriage way, there was no way we're going to have a head-on collision because every vehicle is traveling in
the same direction.
Yes, and so there was no way we're going to have head-on collision and losing the 16 young lives. That wasn't going to happen. So the road infrastructure plays a very vital role.
If you listen to the voice I played earlier from the accident that occurred on Tuesday where lives were lost, about 16 lives have been lost right now, you hear the residents say, so when we're constructing our roads, do we also factor the fact that the place is narrow and then we have tipper trucks, we have big vehicles, tankers and all that using the stretch? Do we factor that into the construction and say, so for this area, let's expand it kakra, so these vehicles can move freely?
So we have standard road dimensions, yes, and this is a 2-lane road, and we expect vehicles to be able to bypass each other without any problem. We have our axle load regime where they measure the weight of vehicles and all those things. They don't just measure the weight of the vehicles, the width of the vehicles. But sometimes, David, you travel on the road and you realize that the width of some vehicles, especially those coming from
Burkina
Faso, exceed. I mean, you check the Ghana driver's guide, you have the weight specified. The width of a vehicle should not exceed 2.55 meters, for instance. Yes, but you realize that some of these vehicles exceed the width which has been specified in our books.
That is to suggest that, so when we're constructing our roads, we used our vehicles that we have
exactly
to do the measurements.
And we have our standards.
But we have people who come in from Niger, Burkina Faso and co. Their vehicles are different from the ones we have.
They are not supposed to get in because per the conditions, if you measure the width of the vehicle, which is 2.55 in our laws, then it's not supposed to use the road.
We have allowed them to be here.
If they're supposed to use the road, it's supposed to go by escort. But we allow them.
Like how the miners.
Exactly.
Yes. So
Exactly. Those are special.
But Prof, isn't that why we wanted to do the ring roads?
Yes.
So the Kumasi Accra Highway is of standard dimensions, and what we expect is that if we use the width of vehicles of what we have in the road, we shouldn't have any problem. We shouldn't have any problem.
So to you,
the bypass is to, what you are talking about is to
shorten the distance,
to get vehicles which are not passing through the city to bypass the city without wasting time in traffic.
and makes their journey shorter and all because they're going long journeys.
On the crack, sometimes when you are sitting in the VIP, I've driven I think twice on the road myself, but when you are sitting on the VIP and you are going and another VIP is coming, sometimes the gap.
That's what he's talking about.
No, so he said that a standard.
Yes,
but the standard isn't that standard too short of a standard because sometimes a VIP way now we back match will be working.
You see what happens in the road industry. The road industry is different from what we have in the aviation industry. If you look at it, vehicles traveling at 80 kilometers per hour, two vehicles bypassing each other with a thin line separating them, it doesn't make sense. If you look at it from the point of safety, it doesn't make sense to allow two vehicles traveling at 80 kilometers per hour to just bypass each other with just that thin line between them. It doesn't make sense. It will not happen in the aviation industry. But that's what we've been.
So let me ask this question then, based on a follow-up on what Eugene asked. Is it to say that at the time we were constructing our roads, we didn't factor the modern vehicles that we have in our systems now, and we use the 2.55 you're mentioning?
No, so that's the width of the vehicle.
Yes.
Yes. So the standard width, I think, should be around 3.75.
But what we have is 2.5.
No.
What we have is what?
The 2.55 is the width of the vehicle which can use the
road. But what is the width of the road itself then?
It should be around 3.75.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
That's what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's why I said that it's standard. I mean, we can travel along several parts of the Accra Road without any problem.
Okay.
Sometimes, I think due to topographical concerns, I mean, you may be restricted, just like on the N4, Abri. Sometimes you have mountains or rocks to crack, and so you may be restricted. But even with that, they are supposed to warn you.
Okay.
Right?
But Prof, the MPP were doing the 4 bypasses.
Yes.
Osino.
Yes.
Enyinem.
Yes.
Konongo.
Yes.
And I think the last one is is it the Nsawem one also?
Yes.
Do you believe now the average travel time about 6 hours? Do you believe those bypasses can reduce the
I
travel
think
time
we
and
should
accidents?
have a dual carriageway from Accra to Kumasi. The bypass, I mean, the traffic volume has grown. And as I mentioned, when you are not even in these towns, a higher percentage of the time you are following other vehicles. And that shows a bad performance of a highway. If you are car following for a very long time, it means the highway is not performing very well. The traffic volumes has increased over the years, right? And looking at what is happening now, mostly all our fleets is by road, and so there is the need for us to have this. We travel on other highways, right? But you don't follow that long wait
for you to have a place to maneuver.
Yes,
and overtake and
to
go.
overtake a
So
vehicle.
would the
and then
expressway
go.
suffice through a PPP? As the NDC proposed the big push, should the expressway suffice?
For me, if it's an expressway, 2-lane, I mean highway 2-lane, I mean we should be okay with it.
But Prof, to be fair again, unfortunately, initially we had this mindset that accidents occur on bad or poor roads, which of course does happen. But again, we also realizing that accidents are occurring even on very good roads.
Yes, that's true. And usually when it happens on the good roads, the consequences are higher, because on good roads, vehicles are traveling at a high speed. And if you consider the laws of physics, the momentum will be transmitted to the person in the vehicle, and you will have to absorb everything. On the poor roads, because the speeds are low, even in the case of crash, you have a higher percentage of surviving.
Okay.
So it's rather the speeds which will result in the increased severity, the number of crashes.
But again, and so you haven't been able to put it together.
Yeah, put together, but David, I have a full up. So, Prof, on the Accra Kumasi, what's the maximum speed based on your expertise?
So from the Road Traffic Act, now we have differential speed limits. Cars are supposed to travel at 90, buses I think 80, trucks 80 when they are not loaded, and 75 when they are loaded. So we have this.
But that is even for
speed limit. But if you look at safety principles, Sweden, they're talking about Vision Zero. If we want to have a situation where we don't have anybody dying or getting seriously injured, then we should be looking at a speed limit of 70. In that case,
70 for which vehicle?
For
all
vehicles.
All
vehicles,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
In that case, when there is a crash, then the probability of people dying is low.
David, my last question before I do that is, Prof, we've also recorded in recent times, David always indicated tires coming out. Tires are two, the tire came out, or trying to overtake the tires came out.
Or blast.
Is it because David, we have a colleague here who went to the mechanic, they forgot to
tighten the knot.
And sometimes you go there, you go with 5 knots. Ebi abakwanya on kentre on anko to be machine go tutu the remaining 3 no baako no dey akobubum. Why are tires coming out especially now?
So the National Road Safety tried this, trying to make sure that we have technical people as organizers and all those. I've visited the organizer. I wanted my tie to be 35.
About 40.
It was like 40, 45 when I drove, and then the vehicle indicated that the tire pressure is not. Yes. So we don't have people. You know, here what we do is that even when it comes to commercial drivers, excuse me to say, their education level is not that high, and all these affects elsewhere. Commercial driving is a profession. I mean, people with education and all those can also go into it. So we don't have the technical people. The National Road Safety tried this, that even before, let's get people with at least HND to be station masters, with degree in engineering, who can check before the vehicles will leave the stations. But the argument at that time was that even at Parliament, we have somebody who is uneducated, and so you cannot do that.
But
so if we have technical people working in this area, it will help instead of just getting people who don't anything. And some of our organizers, for instance, they don't know anything. And then the nature of ties we use here too are not for our condition, for instance, but we allow all of them to come into our country.
And unfortunately, most of our drivers don't even know about the road signs.
Exactly.
And so they are driving,
how
even
they
heading
pass their exams.
you and I know how they, you and I know how they pass or get their driver's license, because that, before you do. So the argument is, even when you're driving, the road signs should communicate to you
Exactly.
as to whether you can overtake here
Yes.
or not overtake here,
Yes.
the speed limits, whether you get into a town,
Yes.
and all those things
Yes.
matter.
Yes.
Unfortunately, our drivers do not know this.
Yes.
And I'm not just talking about commercial vehicle drivers, I'm talking about drivers in general.
Exactly.
We don't know about the road signs.
Yeah.
You mentioned a while ago that even your vehicle told you that the tire pressure that was giving you was too much. That is the kind of vehicle you're driving. But if you're talking about other vehicles that would not give you that indication,
And everything.
So educator, what's the maximum and minimum tire pressure?
Oh, it depends on the vehicle.
Okay, so saloon car. So let's use some cars. So let's say Corolla, a 2015 Corolla. Come to David, the big man's car. So if you drive a Highlander like David's car, what's the maximum tire pressure?
Eugene, on the road signs, Dave, you did the Q&A on the streets and asked people what are the meanings on the road signs. I never got to see the final results. But can you share with us some of the things that you...
We have played it, we have shared it. I mean, people don't know about the road signs. There are times when you're even showing somebody some Mamin Trasso.
So you have that on the tie, right? So I would not want to give
every vehicle. Let me take it from there. Every vehicle has a tie that is supposed to be used, but unfortunately, some of us would even go for bigger ties. For what purpose? I don't know. But
lift the vehicle.
To raise it. But the vehicle itself has the kind of stipulated tie you're supposed to use, the pressure you're supposed to use, and we don't follow all that. And I've said this before, that even brand new tires expire. So you might go to a shop and you think that you're buying a brand new tire. I expire in auto. It does not give you the grip, or it does not give you the kind of efficiency you're looking for, and that is sad. Now, usually before you share that information, I was talking about the road itself, the construction of our roads, the infrastructure that we put in.
Yeah.
And aside from all the challenges that we have in there, the lack of road markings and all the other things that we are looking out for, I also mentioned that contractors don't do a very good job. Such that the road that they construct doesn't last long. The road that they construct gives us problems that also result in accidents. And yesterday in the morning, when we were joined by Mr. Dakon, who is himself is an architect, I raised this concern that when you go into road construction, when you raise your certificate and you're going to be paid, you're not paid in full.
Yes.
Some is withheld, put somewhere.
Yes.
So if the road goes bad within a certain stipulated time, then they fall on that money to reconstruct or to fix the problem. Does it really work in Ghana?
David, it's difficult. You see, let me give this example. Some of these contractors are political persons. People with
financiers.
Yes, they construct a road. They want to pay him. You, the technical person, would have to certify whether he should be paid. Would they be able to do that? No. I mean, even from the top, if you are not careful,
You're saying it's not possible?
That's how it's supposed to be.
So
that's how the system
let me share this sound with you. This is a sound I picked this morning. It's from our Minister for Roads, Kwame Abuja. Leo, stop fidgeting. Play that sound for me. Take a listen to our Roads Minister.
Contractors who get work must show competence and commitment to do the good job. For instance, we notice at the ministry that contractors get work, and then when they are asked to buy, let's say, performance bond, they go to an entity, the entity, without making any checks, give them some cover, believing that government will never come back to cash the bond if things go wrong. Let me sound this warning. From now, when you're a contractor, you do work, and the work fails without explanation, we shall cash the bond. We shall cash the bond to use to restore the road.
That's our roads minister. Are you saying that we should not take his word seriously?
That's how it's supposed to be. But David, when it comes to implementation, I'm not sure they will attack their.
No, but he said this. He said this just yesterday.
Yes, David.
And you're saying that, so it's just rhetorics, just kasa.
I'm not sure they will be able to apply this on a party financier.
Until we see it applied, we don't believe
I will
it.
not believe it. I will not believe
No,
it.
why are you playing the devil's advocate?
Yo.
But David, you're talking about destruction on our roads not lasting and all this. Now, what I see, a major problem is our axle load regime. You know, every road is built to carry a certain load. It's just like a building. You have a foundation, and then the foundation can carry a certain amount of load. But what is happening now is that, I mean, you see the vehicle and you realize that it's overloaded. We have other load stations dotted around the country where they are supposed to measure the weight of vehicles before they move on the road. But a whole lot of things are going on. Now it has been politicized and
the
so
corruption that is going on there.
There's allegation the lady who went there to help the system, they saw revenue increase and everything. Some way, somehow, she's been told to step aside.
I mean, that's a different thing altogether. I've seen an audit report on that lady, which is not very good. I mean, the system is supposed to be that we are supposed to get 0% of excessive loading. So what it means is that if you are working very well, you are not supposed to get any money because you are applying the law, and then nobody will disrespect. So what this is the law. If the person is overloaded, get the excessive loading off. He's supposed to shed off the excessive loading, and then you find the person. So we have transporters moving all around, and these transporters are the same. So the first time, if you enforce the law, you get the person to shed off the loading, and then he pays the fine. The second time, he will not do it. So if you keep on getting monies over the month,
it means you are allowing them to use it with the overload.
It means there is something wrong. What was happening is that maybe you allow them to pay some fine, but you don't allow them. You don't shed off the excess load, which means you are still destroying the road.
Oh, okay. Is that why one, David, I don't know if so the one got stuck under the bridge somewhere in Accra?
So that's the height.
Yeah, that's
you
the
are
height.
supposed to also check the height. The maximum height is 4.5 meters. If you load the vehicle, the maximum height should be.
And that's why we see them on our roads when they are using bamboo to raise electricity to handle the high tension before they drive under. So when you do that on the road, when you get to a bridge, you get stuck. Why not?
Yes.
You definitely get stuck.
Yes.
Now, so usually, what was the tabulation?
So in the last 50 years, 30,000,
Huh?
32,828 people have died through road accidents.
This is a whole constituency. This is like a constituency.
Yes, I can pick the constituency data for you. So
This is like a constituency.
Yes, and this can be higher if we are to account for the level of underreporting.
Yes, because these are the ones that we have reported and been able to document.
Yes.
The others we have not been able to report or document them.
Yes.
What will it take for us to be safe on our roads?
Oh, let me disaggregate it for you.
Are you ready with that?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm
Fine.
just breaking it down.
Fine.
You might find my iPhone in me.
So you're not ready yet?
No, I'm talking. I'm designing disaggregate. I'm doing the disaggregating for you, Massa. Don't confuse.
It's disaggregation.
Disaggregation. 32,828 in the last 15, meaning that when you divide by 15, an average for a year is 2,188.533.
Yeah, that's what
now, when you do that for 30 months, so this is the year, the 2,188.533 is for the year. So when you want to get for the month, right? So that's by 12 months. Let me do that for you. So that is 182.33. So on the average, 7 people die on our road every day.
7 people die on our roads every day, and that's what the data actually says. Prof, tell me this: how can we, the citizenry, hold people in account? I mean, people in office accountable to ensure our safety on our roads? Because I believe that given the opportunity or given the way, every human being would want to go contrary to what the law says.
Yeah.
That is why we have institutions and certain persons put in place and in charge to ensure that the right things are done. We got this police, statement yesterday that says that they should all stay off our streets, not to check what do you call it, the motors, the vehicles, like in terms of insurance and blah blah blah, be there and direct traffic. But it does not also mean that don't fix your license when it's expired, don't do your roadworthy certificate, don't do your insurance, because if you find yourself in a challenge, they would appreciate that you should have done them all. But it tells you that the police who are on our roads to ensure our safety have neglected that bit of their job on the roads and are focusing on how to enrich themselves.
Yes.
So the chain as we have it, from the ministries to the transports to how do we ensure that everybody works we don't say we can eliminate entirely crashes and deaths on our road, but to have, at least going forward the coming years, reduce the numbers. Because instead of increasing the numbers, we ought to be able to use data to put in place the right measures to reduce the numbers.
And so the last National Road Safety Strategy, now we have the National Road Safety Strategy 4. The last one, the target was to reduce road traffic crashes to less than 1,000 fatalities by the year 2020. That was the target which was set.
The year 2020.
Yes, by the National Road Safety Authority, and we ended up with 2,800.
100%.
More than that, we're far from our target. We always say that road safety is a shared responsibility. But one thing which I believe can help us now, the immediate step is enforcement.
Okay.
If we are able to enforce all the traffic rules without this human face and all those. From here, I'm going to Fumeswa. I'm sure when I get to just about getting to Body Junction, you see the police there with speed guns measuring, checking for excessive speeding for drivers to
comply with.
Yes. Usually, most of the cases end up there. By the roadside. That's where they end up. So immediately, I think if you're able to enforce the laws.
But even those speed guns you're talking about, instead of ensuring that people drive within the speed limits, they'll get about 10 cars and the same speed limit that they caught the first driver with is the same speed limit they will use for the last driver.
This one, they have the speed guns which will capture the vehicle with its registration number.
Then the one that caught a friend of mine last week is maybe a different speed gun that they use.
And the 80 MP na.
So this one they will capture the.
But again, why do they hide in doing these things? What is the significance?
Elsewhere, they can tell you that there's a speed camera here. Right.
Yeah.
There's a surveillance camera here. The idea is to get you
to comply, to conform.
Reduce the speed. If you reduce the speed, we save lives. People, everybody is happy. But hiding and then doing those things, I think it's not the.
Now, Dave, on the constituencies, I told you 32,000 for almost 33. Now I can count at least almost 20 constituencies, whole constituencies. So when you go to, I can start for Empoho, Agbatimo, Kotoi, Fantiakwa South, Doma West, Yonyo, Lambushi, Akro from Ashanti region, Sene East, Dafiama Bushe Isa, North Dai, Boga East, Salaga North, Namdam, Swamai, Sechra Farm Plains, Damba, Achims Redro, Adaklu, Busa South, a catching of one constituency. In the last 50 years, more people have died than the populations in these almost 20.
And we have a very high percentage of people also maimed, disabled, and all those. So
that's
it's serious. It's serious. These people are burdened to their families and all
as we
those.
keep having this conversation about road safety, some of you might think that it's become a broken record. Some of you might think that why should I bother? And this pastor who's lost 3 children in one gory accident, he would then appreciate it when there's a conversation about road safety.
Yes. Yeah.
The other parents who've lost two, they will also appreciate it. But should we wait till it happens when lives are lost before we say we're appreciating it? This is the time for us to call people who are in positions to do what is required and expected of them.